very honored to bring up TJ Cook. He is actually a founding member of 1 Million Cups here in Albuquerque, and really started this program. So I got to give it up to him for that. So thank you very much. And I am here, and of course, so he's here to be able to actually represent as the new head of ABQid.
All right. Got the thing, do the thing with the thing. All right. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? You got your, show me your coffee cup? Cafecito. All right. ABQid, Identifying and Developing Startups. Got some exciting things to share with you on my, this is my seventh week on the job. Been in full force, really learning a lot. Empathizing a lot with all of our entrepreneurs, going through the process that I've learned in my past lives to understand what we do, what our purpose is, and how we can take that purpose and iterate and improve on it our next 3 years. So, we love New Mexico. Plain and simple. And we believe entrepreneur-led economic development creates opportunities that lead to abundance. That's our why. That's our purpose. That's why I joined. That's why Trisha and the team. You guys raise your hand real quick. Harold's over there. That's why they joined. That's why I think the broader community is here. We're part of a broader community. That's why we're here. I have some selfish reasons why I joined as well. And just to get personal for a little bit, the land of enchantment, that's why I love it here. These folks right here, the Broncos. This is my daughter Anna, Allie, Kenny, my wife Cammie. Shameless plug, the opera Pagliacci is being performed by Opera Southwest at the National Hispanic Cultural Center this Friday and Sunday, if you'd like to go. And she's singing the lead role. My beautiful niece, I have, this is Mariana, that's Kinsey, that's Anna, being silly like she is. I have 12 nieces and nephews here in the beautiful city of Albuquerque. And when it was time for me to leave my last position at Cause Labs, which I've spoken about before, the timing and alignment here was just too good to be true. I thought, how can I apply all these great things I've been learning in human-centered design, lean development, agile, all those good buzzy words? How can I apply that to Albuquerque? I'd already done so just by volunteering, helping to get 1 Million Cups off the ground, but this opportunity is amazing. It's an opportunity to help build the future opportunities that will lead to abundance for my family and do it here. I'm also excited about another thing that brought me here. This is very meta because it's a picture of you all here. We got something awesome going on here, guys. We really do. It's an exciting, there's a buzz. I was talking to Antonio here. He's like looking around at Fat Pipe, looking around at what we're doing. There's something happening here. I think there's a song about that too, right? There's something happening here. Okay. But so I'm a family guy, and family is what is rooting me here. But I want to say that family has become more than just my blood family. You all are part of this bigger family that we're building here, and it's really exciting to be a part of. That's why I joined. So that's our purpose. We love it here. We want to create opportunities that lead to abundance, okay, in a state that needs opportunities, and we need abundance. How do we do that? At ABQid, our role is to identify and develop high-growth, early-stage businesses and invest in them with knowledge, resources, financial and otherwise, and connections they need to succeed. So that's what we're all about. That's how we go from purpose to start to look at execution, which has led us to some really great programs. Ski lift pitch. We got a video that will be coming out. We'll post it on our website in the next day, overviewing this year's ski lift pitch, which happened just about a month ago. Lean startup boot camps. Of course, the core 12-week accelerator program, which I'll talk about shortly. Idea hacks to help you get unstuck or go to the next level wherever you're at in your business. Startup weekends, which I'll also talk about in a minute. and entrepreneurial office hours, which Eric will talk about in just a minute. So we're involved in a lot of the core programming that happens in the city, but that all leads to the fact that we are also a fund that invests in startups, and we have that unique position as being able to put real money on the table, put skin in the game towards that broader mission. It's just some pictures. Here's us hacking away at ABQid itself in my second week. Here's an awesome picture at Taos Ski Valley with ski lift pitch. Here's our most recent Lean Startup Bootcamp. Anybody here go to that Lean Startup Bootcamp? Raise your hand if you went. Thumbs up? All right, thumbs up. Good. That happened on the 13th. I'll talk about the next one we're doing. Here's another picture of that, our space. We are located just across the way, and you can tell that over time what's happening is lots of people are locating close to this thing that's being built over here called Innovate ABQ, right? Super exciting. I can't tell you how stoked I am. I've been able to walk through the old church building several times now and just close my eyes and imagine the sights and sounds that are going to happen when we're really all co-located and down the hall from each other, and it's going to be awesome. All right. So what have we done? We're 3 years old. We were started in 2014. Thanks to the city, a 3-year contract with the city to do the programming, and we raised funding as well. We have a $2.3 million fund right now, and we've invested in, so far, 30 companies. Just to get a sense for who those companies are. Be the Swarm, Blackfish, Blackpen, Bounce Chat, Close Threads, ConvoBox, DearDrDora.com, ElectroSeek, Equiseek, Explore Media, Full Meta Corp, Honeymoon Brewery, Indigenous Beats, InnoBright Technologies, iTherapy Docs, ItSums, Liquid Practice, Media Trove, Nuvos, Patrick's Fine Foods, Peptinio, PyPy, Plug Solar, Pressure Analysis Company, Sportcast, Teen Years, Toro Fish, Wusk, Weirdos, Zummit Labs. Suffice to say, we've been busy, right? We've run 4 cohorts. 2014 and 2015, we ran about 12 company cohorts here in Albuquerque through our 12-week program. Last year, we had 6 in ABQid and 6 in a program called SFID in Santa Fe, and Honeymoon Brewery came out of that. Full Meta, which is now MetaPipe, came out of that. What are our results so far? I'll tell you a little bit about accelerators in general right here. We have 30 portfolio companies, all of whom you just met. We've written down 6 investments and made 7 follow-on investments. I'll explain that. And then 17 of our companies are at various stages. They're fighting the fight. They're in the grindstone. And some of them inevitably will be part of this. Some of them inevitably will be part of that. And some of them might not get follow-on investment from us, but will remain strong companies growing at a steady clip. And that's a little bit of a snapshot of the ecosystem, too. Quick note on accelerators, for those who didn't get the education that I've gotten since I've joined. Y Combinator started the accelerator model in 2005 in the Valley. Techstars Boulder launched in 2006. And since they now have 30 programs around the world. Y Combinator consolidated all their programs and have one program that I think this year sent 80 companies through their program in the Valley this year. Pretty crazy and pretty awesome. And especially in 2013, the year we were born, you saw a creation of a lot of accelerators around the country. And we're certainly in Albuquerque a part of that kind of explosion of accelerators. The growth is not really tapering too much. In fact, at this point, what I'll share is there's more accelerators than ever, and thus more opportunities for entrepreneurs to look around and say, which accelerator do I want to be a part of? That one, or that one? So that's led us to some of the moves we're making, and I'll announce today. But so we're part of a movement, very much like 1 Million Cups is part of a movement where you have multiple cities around the country. There's lots of acceleration going on, and it's a good thing. Studies recently, now that it's about 10 years old, show that good accelerators do good things. Surprise, surprise. They accelerate startups. You take a control group of companies that don't go through an accelerator program, and they get funding slower, they find product market fit more slowly, and their survival rate is a little bit lower than companies that go through an accelerator program. And that's generally attributed to the fact that, and I think we can all identify this, when you learn in an immersive setting with peers, going at it together, and you have milestones, it's better psychologically and sociologically. And for those of you considering or in the depths of entrepreneurship, you know that it's sometimes a very lonely life. And when you join a family, as it were, fighting that fight together, you become more resilient. You survive better, just like our good old days when we formed tribes as human beings. So, what have we learned by doing all this cool stuff we're doing, and what are our goals? Our next 3 years, I'd like to be able to tell these 3 things. Hey, we've had one exit, at least. And that's when things get really exciting in our world, when one of the companies in whom we've invested has some type of exit event, whether they get acquired or whether they get a Series A round of funding or some other mechanism by which they receive loads of cash or investment or revenue or profitability. That's when the cycle starts to really become the virtuous cycle. And that's when we become self-sustaining, because we carry a 20% investment in the fund that we're doling out, when we're very, very much incentivized to help our companies get to these exit paths, and that makes us more sustainable, because then that funds our operations so that we can invest in more startups, and you get the picture. So this is job number 1. Number 2, I'd love to see 5 companies relocate to Albuquerque to enter the program and grow here. As of yet, we haven't had any companies come from out of state and go through the accelerator program. But as you'll see, part of the reason we're doing what we're going to be doing is to get to that point. We love it here. We want others to love it here. And so we'd love to have this happen. And finally, kind of along with this, we want to grow recognition as a regional center of excellence for startups. Albuquerque is an awesome place. New Mexico is an awesome state. We have all the ingredients for a wonderful life pozole, right? We can do what we need to do, live the lifestyle we want to live here in Albuquerque, and we want to create that as a draw so that we're sought after by entrepreneurs and investors. Things we've learned. Like I said, the number of accelerators continues to increase. Sorry about the small text. We have lots of learnings to act on. If there's any cohort companies in the room, thank you for giving me your time at Standard Diner. I spent lots of coffee money there, sitting down with our startups saying, what was great about ABQid? What sucked about ABQid? Give it to me straight. And I really just listened for about the first 4 weeks. And so that gave me a lot of learnings to take with the team and work with. We've raised awareness of lean startup, and especially customer discovery. So 3 years ago, if you go back in time, I think we're really nascent, really infancy stage, where things like lean startup and how to do customer discovery were not on everybody's lips. At this point, lots of people have gone through those boot camps. We have 30 companies who have gotten that curriculum and gone through the experience and the mentorship, so that the bar has been raised in terms of knowledge. What's changed is that now there's also more local and online resources, like FatPipe ABQ, Rock On FatPipe ABQ is going to be hosting Y Combinator, whom I mentioned before. It's kind of opening up their whole curriculum. You can just watch it together here at FatPipe, starting, what date was that? Anybody know? Starting April 5th. So that lean startup methodology and how to start up is being democratized through the good old-fashioned internet. And there's more collaboration potential here in Albuquerque because there's lots of awesome other programs that have started since we've started. Okay, 2 announcements for you today. One is that we're moving away from our generalist cohort model, which means our first 3 years, we opened the doors very wide, and we said, all startups in Albuquerque, New Mexico, come apply. And that gave you the wonderful buffet of startups going B to C, B to B, with really scientifically deep stuff and very consumer-driven stuff, and a wide range. And I actually think that was a good thing for our first 3 years, because there was a pent-up demand for acceleration by many startups here, and it met that demand. In our next 3 years, based on what I've learned, what I've seen from other maturing accelerator programs, it's time to focus. There's a scene in the newest Karate Kid, you know, the one with Jackie Chan, where I forget, Jaden Smith, he says, "I am focused," right? And they're doing that kind of like, I'm really butchering this, but there's a scene in the movie where Jackie Chan like totally befuddles him and puts him right over the water, and he says, "Your focus needs more focus." And that's kind of where we are. We need to eat our own dog food, frankly, and the same way we've encouraged our startups to focus their market penetration, what they're doing, where their product is serving better. And so we're going to focus. Our next cohort will be ABQid Health and Wellness 2017. Woo! Let me explain, because it's big news for many of us. Okay, why focus and why health and wellness as a focus? Lots of reasons. Health and wellness is one of those themes that's ever-present, evergreen, that will never run out of problems to solve in that sector. You think about everything from early childhood development, and I've been involved in some projects there, all the way to aging, and everywhere in between. It is a focus, but it's a pretty broad focus that allows us to welcome a lot of startups that will fit in that theme, yet apply the discipline of focus and the value we're giving them. And it's a large part of our tax base. It's a large part of our problem set here in the city. A wealth of problems worth solving. There's really a lot of exciting momentum that specifically rose this theme above some others. Last Wednesday at the Albuquerque Economic Development Breakfast, Dr. Richard Larson at the UNM Health Sciences Center talked about Grow Bio and some legislation that was just passed to set up a bioscience authority in the state. So there's a group of people, Stu, who found a fat pipe and has the Bioscience Center that's busting at the seams with awesome startups, has already formed a lot of momentum in the life sciences, which there's heavy crossover, obviously, between life sciences and health. So there's momentum that we're actually joining in on. Because as an accelerator, we're here to accelerate good things that are happening, right? So that allows us to join in the momentum and start to integrate with what's already happening in the city and in the state. And for our entrepreneurs, which I deem as our most important stakeholder, obviously, it allows us to offer more connective value. So, for example, Mark Epstein at New Mexico Health Connections, thank you. He was a judge in our ski lift pitch contest. He's been a really great advocate. He just told me, yes, I'd love to join your health and wellness advisory board. And these folks in the community who know the health and wellness space, who live and breathe the problems with healthcare, with insurance, with nutrition, with food, everything that our startups are going to be bringing to the table, they're going to be able to connect directly with our startups, and we're going to broker those relationships in a really focused way. So before we had mentors, and Bill did an incredible job organizing those. He's going to continue to do so, but now he's going to be able to say, oh, your medical device company, you really need to talk to these two mentors whom we already prepared for you, who had 2 or 3 medical device startups, right? And so that's going to offer us more connective value. As well, we have really interesting attributes here in New Mexico, geographically and culturally. Native and rural health is a big deal, and we have some amazing innovations, for example, in Project Echo at UNM. That's going to allow us to draw in startups, perhaps from out of state, right, that are really geared towards solving that problem, and we can offer them market access, not just mentor access, but market access. So what Tricia and I are going to be hustling on over the next 3 months is setting up these really wonderful advisory and mentor relationships such that if you're a startup that's trying to tackle a problem in this theme, on week 2 of the program, you could be going on a field trip, talking to people, talking to your end customer, talking to your first partners. And I think I'm just really excited about that. And New Mexico is a great place for that connectivity. We're still small enough where we can get you that access. You can talk to people within 2-3 degrees of separation. But we're also very focused. And finally, when it comes to health and wellness, I showed that picture, the sandia, the watermelon color, the mountains at sunset. We, as somebody in the community has said before, New Mexico is a great place to think. We're the 5th largest state in the union, and we are a great place culturally. We're a melting pot in so many ways. Our arts are authentic and singular, and I think what excites me in my core, being a culture guy, is that I think startups and accelerators could do better serving entrepreneurs in their health and wellness, right? There's a lot of churn and a lot of burn in the entrepreneurial experience, and we don't want to just focus on health and wellness companies. We want to focus on building the health and wellness of the startups and the founders of those companies, and I think New Mexico is a great place for that, right? We're not the West Coast and the East Coast and the 3-hour drives. We are a 15-minute drive from my house in Tejeras to ABQid, and we have access to natural resources and amazing experiences. So that's the theme. We'll get to questions. Sorry, I'm running a little long here. Rigor and immersion. That's the second thing I wanted to talk about. Rigor applies to ABQid and how we operate, just as much as the rigor we're going to want to see from our companies. And immersion is something that we really want to capitalize on too. So here are the changes coming to the actual program. Still going to be 12 weeks, but when you enter the program, instead of having a Monday, Wednesday kind of clip where is about 2.5-hour sessions, 3-hour sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays where we were face-to-face with our startups in previous cohorts, we're going to switch for a couple reasons to a series of three-day workshops spread 4 weeks apart. It's a model used by Village Capital. Some of you were involved when they came to town doing a water and agricultural theme here that I was able to take part in by being a part of Cause Labs, building their web platform. So I got to really see how this worked. And basically, I love it because it's going to increase immersion of the peer cohort, and it's going to allow us to go deeper in focused sessions. So I don't know about you guys, but when I took my history of the English language class at UNM from like 4 to 6:30 at night back in the day, it was tough to pay attention because I came from this and I was going to this. We're going to put the blinders on to the outside world, and as a cohort, we're going to go deep together. We're going to solve some of our problems, and we're going to meld really well as a cohort family. It increases independent work time between workshops. A study that was done showed that when accelerator programs offer independent study time, not independent study time, independent work time, rather than hitting them over and over again with content, it actually increased results for those startups. So we're going to go really deep, and then those startups are going to have 4 weeks to get some stuff done. We're going to be there to apply the right mentorship for them at that time. We're going to meet one-on-one weekly, virtually, and stuff like that. But otherwise, that full-time founder that joins the program is going to be able to just do the stuff that this workshop surfaced, made him aware of, made her aware of. It's going to improve our strategy and logistics with mentors. Bill will tell you, trying to get mentors to come for 12 weeks in a row is one thing. Being able to tell them our workshops are on these dates, we'd like you on this half-hour session and stuff like that, it's going to improve our rigor that we're able to offer to our wonderful mentors. It's going to improve the value of peer learning and accountability. Like I said, when you immerse, you spend more time together than just a practice here and there, and you do stuff in the evening together, you eat breakfast together. It builds that family culture that I think is essential towards making progress together and getting over the inevitable speed bumps along the way. And of course, we're going to integrate those health and wellness opportunities in each workshop. So it's going to be fun. I can promise you that. Some upcoming dates, and then I'll shut up. Health and wellness applications are going to open April 7th, next Friday. April 7th, mark your calendars. Teen Startup Bootcamp, Teen Lean Startup Bootcamp will be April 13th at ABQid. So if you have somebody 13 to 19, we'd love to have them there to learn about startups, help them catch the fire a little bit. Who knows where they may go from there. Startup Weekend, I'm really excited about this, as I've just met with tons of not just entrepreneurs, but others in the ecosystem who are in positions like mine, directing this or that. I talked with Juliana Silva at West. She said, hey, do you mind if we lead this? And I said, not at all. But I felt for a while, just that personally, we need another startup weekend. We need another weekend that allows those with, nascent ideas just to see where they're at, see what they can do with those. That's going to happen June 2nd through the 4th. It's going to be hosted at the beautiful West building right over there. And I'll be there all weekend myself. I've committed personally just to have the experience. Health and wellness will kick off early August at ABQid. So those are a few dates I wanted to make you aware of. For discussion, here are all our challenges and opportunities. We're pursuing new recruitment strategy and new collaboration opportunities because of this new focus. A generalist cohort, you recruit in this way. A focus cohort, we have to develop new muscles for marketing and outreach. So that's an opportunity/a challenge. Health and wellness partners, all you health and wellness people whose brain fired off when I said health and wellness, and you thought, ooh, TJ, you should talk to so-and-so. Come talk to me so I can talk to so-and-so. Trish and I are going to be really, like I said, that's a really important connectivity value that we want to offer. So I'm on the lookout for those in a timely manner. The next 3 months is when it's got to come together. Incorporating personal development as a differentiator, I think, is a challenge and opportunity. The balance between making that startup successful and making the founder healthy. Balancing rigor and focus with community accessibility. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome to talk to us, participate in our programs. You don't have to have a health and wellness focus to come to a Lean Startup Bootcamp. You do to apply to our next accelerator cohort, but there's going to be a balance there. And good old-fashioned patience is needed in the accelerator business model. 3 years in operations, successful accelerators start to see positive returns in 10 to 15 years. Those exits start to happen, which is great, but the returns are 10 to 15 years. So it takes some time, and we always need that patience to happen. One last note, because I think this will be a question. Health and wellness is the theme we're launching. We're committed to it for at least 3 years, but the exciting part is if we get good at focusing on health and wellness, we can then apply that template, that strategy to other theme areas as an accelerator. So there's lots of candidates. The board and I and the staff are in active conversations. What might our next theme be? But as you can respect, we're trying to get great at health and wellness, and we'll announce our next theme when we arrive on it. Lots of implications for what next year could look like in that regard. So I will stop.